What's up, quadcopter fans? It's hiringadrone.com, and today I'm going to be doing test flight with the little mini review of the JJRC H20. I took this out last night, had a little bit of an issue with it, lost control, lost connection with the actual controller, and I just took off. Went probably 110 feet in the air, and could not rebind with the controller, resulting in it just flying away. Luckily, I was able to run down the street and find it. Try to splice in maybe a little bit of the video so that way you can see what I'm talking about. So you definitely want to keep this thing within range. I was flying around some, high output power lines that were in the area, so I'm not sure if that had any effect on it. But this thing was just gone. There was nothing that I could do to get it back. Luckily, I was able to find it, so got lucky on that. But this thing, other than that, I mean, it's an excellent flyer. I really do enjoy it. Even after it took a 100 and some odd foot fall, picked it up, turned it back on, flew excellent. So, word of advice: just keep this thing close to you. Maybe possibly fly it indoors. I have the prop guards off on mine. If you're going to fly it indoors, you probably want to be sure to put it on. For the price, though, and the size, this Hexacopter is, in my opinion, I like it better than, the Cheerston. It's more reliable than the Cheerston CX-10, but they're about in the same class, so we'll do some 360s here. Check out the yaw rate. Wide loop and turns. Get this little guy back to us. Like I said, we don't want to get too far out. One, it's hard to see, and two, we lose connection. We just might lose it for forever. So we could try some flips with it. Now this controller is a little bit bigger than you'll see with like most controllers in this class. But to do the flip, nice and easy. Front flip. I haven't really noticed any issues with the accelerometers or wind or anything like that. Just being around that high output radio tower and power line, it just really did a number on this as far as unbinding it to my controller. No complaints with it other than the design of how the battery and the actual the plug goes into the quadcopter from the battery. I had to do some adjustments. If you look on the channel, you'll see my little battery hack that I did in order to fix it. You can do the same thing. Doesn't look like it's affected in any way as far as flying goes. Actually handles a little bit better. I did notice after I dropped this thing out of the sky, the battery did slide out a little bit of the back, and it's not as stable inside of it. It doesn't have anything, I don't think, to do with the little work that I did on it. I think it's more, the fall that it took. But this thing held up really good. I mean, for falling from 100+ feet, minor scratches. I don't even have the prop guards on there, which would give it a little bit more structural support, since the prop guards do go into the actual top casing and bottom casing to build a little bit of a buffer and more support in there, for impact on crashes. But it was amazing that this thing survived the fall that it took. So, and we have it on low mode because this thing's very hard to see, while filming. So I'm not gonna just get crazy and rage it right now. Just trying to shoot the video, but this will get going super fast, super quick, and it can kind of get away from you a little bit as far as how fast it is. So we'll do some pitch flybys. Backflip. Super cool. Some 360s. And with the 6 motors, it really helps it in the wind. There's a headwind today. I was just flying some of the bigger minis in the class, and this Hexacopter definitely just cuts in this wind. Doesn't need a ton of pitch with the additional 2 motors on there. Super smooth, super stable. You can land it in your hand if you want to. Just come in real close for a nice smooth hover here. Maybe you try a flip. And it does tight flips. So typically, you know, most quadcopters in this range, they might touch down on the ground when flipping from this height, because we're only, you know, about a foot off the ground here. Again, I mean, wish this had the beeping in the controller when the battery runs low, because you really don't know, you know, how long these last. It looks like, you know, my average flight time with the full charge on this has roughly been about 3 minutes, and looks like we're out of juice. And that holds true still, so it looks like we got a little bit left in it. Not much, and we're out. So this is the JJRC H20 Hexacopter. You know, I'll show you the bottom. You can't really see much damage from the wreck. Very little, if any. And that was from a good drop. Here's where the guards would go into the Hexacopter, and that would add for a little bit more support, you know, when you do wreck. But overall, extremely impressed with it, especially the tumble that it took. Disappointed in it, in the battery design overlapping the plug, as well as this thing just flying away, having a mind of its own. But very cool, worth the purchase. You know, if it's between this or the Cheerston CX-10, I would definitely buy this for indoor-outdoor flights. Much better control, very smooth, and I think you'd like it a lot better. So if this video helped you out in any way, definitely give it a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more flights, unboxings, as well as reviews.